Good day, everybody. Once again, we welcome you in for another edition of Grilling the Birds, brought to you by Inside the Birds. I'm D.Gunn along with Trey Thomas. And, of course, we've had some extended time off since the Eagles played last Thursday instead of this past Sunday. So they've had some time to heal up, get a few bodies back, and get ready for their upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday night. Of course, it's Cowboys week. And as I bring in my colleague, Trey Thomas, Trey, you know, it's kind of hard even getting up for the game this week and getting jacked up because the Dallas Cowboys are a mess right now, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is a mess right now for the Dallas Cowboys. We're a mess, you know, and it just seems like right now it's just going to be which team wants it a little bit more. I mean, right now you have a team that has a lot of injuries. You know, I mean, Dallas is down to their third quarterback right now. We're struggling with our offensive line, defensive line injuries. Everybody's hurt across the board. So it's just going to be, okay, who can pull this out, you know? But regardless of everything that's going on, it's still Dallas week. And it doesn't matter. Like I was told my rookie year when I first got here by a fan, I don't care whatever happens with your season, as long as you whoop Dallas. Just go whoop Dallas.
Just whoop Dallas. All right, we're going to talk more about this matchup a little bit later in this show. But right now, let's hone in on the Philadelphia Eagles. And I was recently told that, you know, we always talked about if the Eagles can just hang on, they're going to get some help back. And I was told recently that it looks like Jalen Reagor will be back for this game. And, of course, I was also told that Jason Peters would be back for this game as well, and that Jason Peters is probably going to play. Let's start with Jason Peters. We've watched Jordan Mailata get better and better each week. Would you put Peters back at the left tackle, or you leave Mailata where he is?
Yeah, I leave Mailata where he is just because of the development. I think Jordan Mailata is definitely the tackle of the future right now. Their left tackle of the future. So I would leave Jordan in there just so he could continue to develop. I mean, he needs to take his lumps. He needs this season right here to just kind of continue to work through it, to get some wins, to get beat a couple times, because that's just all part of it. For me, you know, when you have Jason Peters coming in, he's coming off of IR. I don't know which toe it is, if it's his right foot or his left foot. I don't know which one it is. But when you say, okay, he's coming off IR, he hasn't been practicing, he hasn't been doing much. To me, if you're going to play him, it would be the easier transition would just be able to bump him down to left guard. But this team doesn't like to do anything easy. You know, so they're saying, well, you know what, hey, you know what? Let's show how smart we are and throw a guy that hasn't practiced, that hasn't been doing much, and say, hey, man, we got the option of playing him at right guard. Okay, you're going to find out real quick. It's a totally different situation when it goes from practicing against guys that's not challenging you the way you should be challenged to just saying, all right, it's game time. Because now, you know, you're just going to throw a man at right guard. He hasn't taken that many reps, and you're just going to throw him in there. All right, let's see how, you know, like my dad used to tell me, because I'm from the South now, a hard head make a soft behind. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You know, so you're going to learn real quick if you just throw him out there with no practice. You know, hopefully he can hold up. But to me, the easier transition is to put him at left guard.
Okay, so you said left guard. Now, Jason Peters had been playing at right guard before they moved him back to left tackle early on in the season because of injuries. Why do you feel that he'd be better suited on the left side?
Just because it's more of a natural switch. You know, you don't have to change your stance. He's been in a left-handed stance for so long. He's used to all the calls that has to happen. He's used to the footwork, everything that's already there. It's much easier transition just to put him at left guard. Now you put him over on the right side. Now you have him looking different ways and you know, having to step a certain different way now. It changes everything for him. And he hasn't practiced. You know, yeah, you had him practicing a couple weeks in training camp, but I mean, you didn't show him doing any live team periods at right guard. You know, there weren't, you know, because if Jason Peters would have went out there and just smashed it at right guard, that would have been something that was publicized every day, every time that you saw any clips that was coming out of training camp. It would have showed Jason Peters out there dominating guys at right guard, but it didn't. So that's why it shows me that I think that it wasn't all pixie dust and everything was all as great as it was was
Pixie
created.
dust?
I don't know. That's the first thing that came to mind. You know, I was trying to come up with something a little bit more, but I couldn't at the time. But I got thought blocked. But it wasn't as great as they thought it, as they presented it at right guard. Because I'm just telling you now, imagine if Jason Peters would have been out there at right guard, just dominating cats and putting Fletcher Cox down, wouldn't they have shown a lot more of that?
Yeah.
They would have,
Yeah.
but it wasn't the case. And that's why, to me, I don't think that whole right guard transition was as great as everybody presented it to be.
Okay, now you being a former tackle, and you've had to play with various personnel at times week in and week out when you played the game. Okay, so let's say you bring in Jason Peters back, you're going to stick him in one of the guard positions. How much or how long does it take before you get that fluidity, that cohesiveness? Because as you just mentioned, he's probably had limited time in practice, hasn't seen game action in weeks. So is there X amount of game reps that it does take before it becomes fluid again?
Well, you're gonna have to do that anyway. Even if you put him at left tackle, he hasn't worked with Opeta. He hasn't worked with Nate. You know, at the time before he went down, Isaac was out there at the left tackle. No, well, Isaac went down against the Rams. So, you know, he hasn't really worked with any of these guys anyway. So even if you throw him out there, it's going to be 51st dates anyway. You're starting to learn guys again anyway. So it doesn't matter. That uncomfortableness is going to happen regardless. So to me, I would much rather put him at a left guard position just because he understands the calls. He understands the footwork, the set line, and everything that needs to happen. It's a much easier transition. But to put him over on the right side, you know, and then now, okay, so now you're going to put him at the right side, and now he's going to have to go out there and work with what you put him at right guard. So now Matt Pryor's out there at right tackle. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Lane's not playing in this game with a sprained knee, with a sprained MCL, and whatever is going on with his ankle. So you know, either way, you're going to have that uncomfortable situation of not knowing how it feels to work with the individual guys. So you may as well just go ahead and put him at a more natural transition for him at left guard.
By the way, folks, we are in the trenches with Trey, and as we continue our trench warfare talk, let's talk about the guard position, Opeta and Herbig. You've noticed some things recently that you don't like too much about the overall guard play.
Well, you know, because, you know, Opeta, when I went back and I looked at some of his game film, you know, when he got just ran through the one time, you know, that wasn't good. When you had a defensive tackle just pretty much pick you up and take you back to the quarterback, put you in the quarterback's lap like you're putting your child in Santa Claus. When you take your child to the mall and you put him in Santa Claus' lap to take a picture, that's pretty much what the defensive tackle did to Opeta, and put him in Carson's lap and like, hold on, let's take this picture here on 3. And I mean, he just laid him out, you know. There was some stuff when it came to the run blocking, of course, pass protection. And Opeta was responsible for 2 of the times that Lane Johnson got hurt. I'm going to make sure I pull the clips up for this, because you had on the one quarterback sneak here, Opeta went in and it was his guy where he blocks the guy, and he took the guy down to the ground, which ended up falling on Lane's ankle, and that had Lane rolling around on the ground on that 4th and 1. So now Matt Pryor has to come in. You fast forward to the 4th and 3 on the red zone where they tried to throw the fade route. It was Opeta again that was blocking his defensive tackle, and he's trying to finish the guy. He ends up running the defensive tackle into Lane's right knee, which ended up spraining his MCL. So Opeta against the board had a rough day at the office with just friendly fire of hurting his own guys. Now, when you go to Nick, that right there should be enough about Opeta. So because pretty much he single-handedly took Lane Johnson out of the game just by his play and just doing what he's doing. Now you go to Nate. Nate suffered from not having enough time from playing left guard to now you switching him over to right guard, where you saw his stance just started getting a little dicey. I've always told people, whenever you start playing offensive line, whenever you're in your stance, let's say if you're in a right-handed stance, now this is going to be your forward foot, this is going to be your left foot, right foot, all right? So you have this stagger, okay? So when you're working back inside, you have to keep that post foot up. You cannot drop your post foot and then because now you're in a left-handed stance. And if you're at right guard, if you drop that inside foot, well, who's standing right there? The quarterback. So, there were times that you saw him where that inside foot drops. Then now the quarterback, Wentz, is right there, which created either a sack or pressure. And it was just, that's when you have not enough time to really get guys ready. And now you're saying, okay, you know what? Jason Peters has been down for 3, 4, 5 weeks now. And you say, okay, hey, man, somebody that's been in a left-handed stance for 15 years, hey, man, you're coming off IR. I know your toe is a little janky. Let's go ahead and throw you out there at right guard, and let's just see how it happens. Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't surgery related. So,
right.
I don't know. You got janky toe.
What's your definition of janky toe? I haven't heard that one before. You come up with some stuff, man. I'm going to start Trey Thomas's Urban Dictionary. That's what I'm going to call it.
I don't know. I mean, janky toe is missing time for something that wasn't surgically repaired. So, okay. I mean, could it be the gout? My dad used to get the gout. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. I don't know, but he had janky toe. So I'm just going to go janky toe. And, because it wasn't surgically repaired, it was just that it was bad enough for you to have to miss 3-4 weeks of work.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So now you're bringing back Jalen Reagor, who we haven't seen since week number 2 on the season. He has 5 catches, 96 yards, his average number 19 yards a catch. But, of course, he had the 155-yard catch against the Washington football team. All right. So now Desean Jackson's out. But here comes that speed element back into the receiving core that this team desperately needs.
Yeah, and I hope you use him as a speed guy. Keep him outside, running stuff up the field. Don't send him in there on those slant routes. Let's take care of the man.
Really?
He just got his cast taken off. He just got back healthy. Let's cover him for a couple weeks. If you're going to play him, which I would much rather he not play in this game. Let's give him another week. I mean, the cast just came off last week.
Okay.
The cast just came off, Thursday? And they're saying, all right, well, hey, we need you right now.
Yeah.
Now, the man just got back. If you're going to use him for over-the-top stuff. Don't send him inside because that's what got him hurt against the Rams, sending him inside twice. That one inside route is where he got laid out for the safety. That's what put him on IR. And then you got him hurt again. You got him hit again later on that drive in the red zone by the linebacker. So there were 2 hits where you sit him inside, got him laid out. That's what put him on IR. Now, he's coming off of it. I wouldn't send him on any of those slant routes. Just keep him going upfield. Use his speed to the advantage instead of putting him in a situation if Carson makes a bad throw. I mean, those linebackers are there to try to take his head off.
But don't you need to use this entire repertoire of routes? I mean, that encompasses the speed also. I mean, you can't let him be a one-trick pony. I mean, that's why you drafted a kid as high as you did.
He's just coming off IR. He doesn't have.
We all know how many players come off IR and play right away out of necessity. It's the nature of the beast of the business.
Okay, well, go ahead. Have at it then. Have at it. What do you want? Have at it. But then I don't want to hear everybody whining about, oh, damn, he just got hurt again, because that's the same thing that happened to Desean Jackson. You have Desean Jackson, get back in, and what do the geniuses do? Hey, man, you know what? Let's put him at punt return. Now he's down again. So go ahead. You know what? Have at it. Have at it. Hard head makes a soft behind. That's what my daddy always used to tell me.
And wait a minute now. Now we're talking about Desean Jackson. Okay. Now, he was back on that punt because special teams coordinator Dave Phipps said just recently, Desean, being this unselfish player that he is, asked to go back there on punt return. So the coordinator consulted with the player, and the player said, I want to be back there. You can't just blame it on the team for that now, if that's true.
Yes, I can, because as a coach, you need to protect the player. You know damn well Desean Jackson wasn't ready for that. Even though it was a dirty hit, why even take the chance?
But if it wasn't a dirty hit, he'd still be playing now. What if he had taken one to the house? You'd applaud the move then, wouldn't you?
Well, it didn't. But so it didn't happen. We can always go what if. If I was 200 pounds, I could possibly run a 4.3. But I'm not.
You ain't seen 200 pounds since the 8th grade.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So we can play the if game with whatever. If I could grow hair, I might have dreads. I don't know, but I can't. So what I'm dealing with is this bald head. So what I'm saying is,
what are you drinking, man? It's too early today. What are you drinking?
I've been on water. I've been on H2O all day.
What's in that water though? Now hold up. Ah, see, you got it. What you have is a clouded container that we don't know what's in that container.
Maybe.
All I know is you're happier than you normally are these days. More animated than you normally are.
Because I get a lot of sleep. That's what it is. I get a lot of sleep.
Yeah, you went to bed at 8:30 last night and wouldn't return my calls. I mean, what is wrong with you?
Hey, listen, man. I get into bed early.
Do you realize? I don't know if you realize this, but you know it's easy for me to get under your skin, like the little brother getting under the big brother's skin. You know how easy it is for me to set you up to get under your skin?
That's cool. I'm already ready. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
All right, while we're talking about Desean Jackson, 33 years old, will be 34 come December 1st. He missed extended playing time already because of a hamstring. Now he's down a possible 6 to 8 weeks because of this ankle injury now. Eagles say whenever he comes back, they're going to get him back in there. But let's look at the bigger scheme of things, Trey, as you being a former player. He missed a lot of time last year, most of the season last year because of an injury. Now he's going to miss most of the season again this year because of an injury. Father Time is undefeated. Now, obviously, you're going to play him when he comes back, if and when he comes back, because you're paying him decent money. But in a bigger scheme of things, is it time to move on from Desean and let these younger guys breathe, flourish, continue to develop, because now a lot of decisions to make, and those decisions entail, as they did in 2018, as they did in 2019, getting extensive looks at some young players, because this team may have to go on a definitive youth movement in 2021.
Yeah, it hurts me, man, just because I really was one of the guys that was standing on the soapbox and really wanted to get Desean Jackson back, because he never wanted to leave. This is something that he should have been able to stay here his entire career. You know, he would have rewritten all of the record books here with just his big play ability. But you know what? It didn't work out that way. So now, I was really high on getting Desean back. It's just sad to see how it all played out, just with all the injuries. Father Time had the groin last year where he should have had surgery and had it repaired, but did not. So now, he has the ankle issue now, because they shouldn't have put him out there in the punt return, but they did. So now here you are, you stuck with whatever it is.
You wanted to do it, though.
Man, you want to do it. I know that you want to make a play for us right now, but we need you on the field. We need you down the stretch, just in case something like this happens. Greg Ward was your punt returner up until then. He hadn't fumbled a snap. He hadn't done anything wrong. So there was absolutely no reason to throw Desean. What, we need a miracle at the link? We already had that time. He already has been the giant slayer from the past couple years. Let somebody else have at it, man. You're just coming off IR. Let's get you back where you need to be, all right? Late hit, he's done. But anyway, I just feel like, it's sad because right now, all seriousness, man, this might be the last time you saw Desean Jackson in an Eagles uniform, because now you say, okay, he's down 8 weeks. You got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You only have 9 more regular season games. So you only have 10 weeks of work with the bye week. Are you serious? Do you really think you're going to see Desean Jackson back in the Eagles jersey?
What if they make the playoffs?
Man, you're giving me a whole lot of ifs right now.
Look, in that division, who's the strongest team in the division right now? So they're going to win the division by default.
We beat New York by 1 point.
I know that. And what did I tell you before that game? If you let an inferior opponent stay around long enough and think they can beat you, sure enough, they have a chance of feeling like they can beat you. And let's face it, as bad as the Giants are in general, the defense is not the problem with the Giants. It's the offense. And the offense decides to show up that particular game against the Eagles.
Yeah, but we only beat them by 1 point, and now, because, that means for us to make the playoffs, that means that we're going to have to sweep our next conference games. Do you just going down to see the record, do you see us beating the Browns?
People keep talking about the Browns are not that strong, but I'm going to tell you what, even without Odell Beckham, the Browns have some firepower. The Browns play decent defense, and the Browns have an overall better nucleus of talent than the Giants do. So I think the Browns are going to give this team all kind of problems.
Okay, so that's a no. All right, Seahawks.
No.
Okay, all right. Packers.
If they can run the ball, Green Bay's Achilles heel is that run defense. Now nobody thought they were going to beat the Packers. What, a couple of years ago they beat them in Green Bay. Now that was when Devontae Adams, of course, went down with an injury. If Devontae Adams hadn't gone down, it would have been a different game. But they could go in Green Bay and maybe sneak one out of there. But right now, Aaron Rodgers playing ticked off. So I'm gonna say no right now.
So that's a no right now. Saints.
No, Drew Brees. No, that man will find a way now.
Okay. Cardinals.
No. I'll tell you what. That Cardinals defense is like the Fast and the Furious. No, and that boy Kyler Murray, man, let me tell you something.
Yeah, he is dangerous.
The players that have first gears, second gears, third gear. That man's got a fifth gear. When I see him take off and run, he reminds me of that old cartoon, The Road Runner. All I hear is and he's gone. You know, you ain't catching that kid,
and he's gone.
You know,
so that means that we have to handle everybody in our conference.
So you're gonna make win.
So that means you can't lose to New York. You can't. You know, you already lost to Washington, so you're gonna have to win that matchup against Washington at the end of the season, and you're gonna have to sweep Dallas.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, as we will talk more about Dallas later, I feel pretty good about this week. I don't know about when they go down to Dallas. You know, I don't know. We're talking right now. 6 wins might win this division. 5-6 wins.
6-9-1.
So if they're 6-9-1, they win a division. They get in the playoffs, and as we've seen in the past, history has shown there have been times the Pittsburgh Steelers got in as the number 6 seed, ran the table, won the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers 2010, number 6 seed, ran the table, beat the top 3 seeds, won the Super Bowl, beat Pittsburgh in the Super. Miracles do happen, my friend. Don't be a negative Nelly just yet.
I'm not being a negative Nelly.
Still to be played yet.
I'm not being a negative Nelly. I'm just saying that I'm just giving you what the record is. I'm not being negative. I'm just giving you what the record is, what the season is, what we have in the future. Not being negative, super positive.
I can see Steve coming out of your ears right now. That head starting to glow a little bit more like D.Gunn.
Very positive.
D.Gunn,
right
you're not gonna play that Jedi mind trick with me today, D.Gunn. You're not gonna do it today.
Nope. Very positive today. Very positive. I think that, you know what? Hey, if we finish 6-9-1, nice. Yeah. I think it'll be awesome. But all right. We get into the playoffs. Hey, man, you never know.
All right, Trey, now as we continue to move on, let's take a look at the defensive tackle situation. Hassan Ridgeway has now been placed on IR. Malik Jackson, day to day. How much is this affecting that D-tackle rotation?
Well, I know it is definitely a change when you're saying, like, all right, Ridgeway's not going to be in part of the game plan. You have Hargrave that's kind of been struggling with getting acclimated or getting going with our defensive front. So at least you have Benny Curry is possibly someone that can bump down over the 3 technique, or you can bump BG down there if need be. He's someone that can bump down to a 3 technique. So you have some options. I don't think Josh Sweat would be as effective down there in the 3 technique, or Barnett. So I think it's going to be more of a BG or getting Vinny Curry down there a little bit more to kind of help spell some of those guys.
All right. Now, Jim Schwartz went so far as to say earlier in the week that Hassan Ridgeway has not played a whole lot of snaps, but when he's in there, he's been very productive. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, you know what? What are we calling productive? I mean, that he's been on the field, that he's holding a spot. We haven't really seen a lot of numbers. Maybe, how many stats? What is he recording on the stat line?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I haven't heard his name called maybe once or twice, maybe throughout the time that he's been here. So maybe he's turning it back the other way or whatever. But when it comes to actually making plays, I really haven't seen much from him.
All right, now let's move on to our favorite topic: the quarterback, Carson Wentz. Shockingly enough, he's completed less than 59% of his passes this year. He has as many interceptions as he does touchdowns, 10 apiece. when you look at his play overall, the best way to describe it has been inconsistent. But the last 3 games in particular, he's been consistently good at crunch time in terms of bringing the team back to make it competitive against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and, of course, bringing them all the way back against the Giants. That throw he made to Boston Scott, I mean, that was like threading a needle. So how does Doug Peterson and the coaching staff bring more of that positive consistency out and negate more of that negative inconsistency?
I think one of the things that they're going to have to do is just make sure he sees the field. Here on these couple clips that that we're going to have playing here, you'll see that he's out there still not seeing the field, missing some wide receivers that are wide open that could possibly be touchdowns. But, he's still trying to find his way out there on the field. Too many times I still see Carson looking to one side of the field but not seeing the other side or reading the safeties or what all is going on the field. So, that's something that you want to continue to progress and continue to work and make him start going throughout his progressions and seeing the other side just in case there's something popping open. But I think for him to do that, he has to feel comfortable with the protection as well.
All right, now Doug has a 5-year relationship with Carson Wentz, and as you know, quarterback's psyche can be fragile at times. Does it get to a point where if he continues to ride this proverbial roller coaster, the coach has to get in his face and say, look, man, you're 5 years into the system, enough of this, or do you still have to treat that like with kid gloves?
No, I don't think you need to treat him with kid gloves. I mean, I think every player wants to be coached. I think every player wants to make sure that as long as you're telling me the right thing for me to do, that you're trying to get me to be the best player that I can be, and it's actually something that could work. I think every player is okay with being coached. Now, you don't need to go in there and trash him, but I think that he should be able to receive criticism if there is some.
All right, now he's got some heavyweight games coming up, and a player will tell you, I never overlook any opponent. Now, with this games coming up against Dallas and, of course, followed up against the Giants, these are 2 perfect scenarios for Carson to work on certain traits that have been holding him back to get ready for the storm that's coming. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think so. This is definitely a good time to kind of start working on seeing the field a little bit better, working on some of those different little kinks, some of those different plays, especially against a team like Dallas that's perceived to be a lesser talented team right now just due to all the injuries and lack of leadership over there in their locker room. But, they still have a lot of weapons over there on the offensive side of the ball. But I think that this is a time that Carson can work on some stuff, work on, being able to see the field, getting the ball on time, being able to work some of these other receivers into the game plan. Now, I do like that this group that he has right now. I know it's not a bunch of big-name guys, but for whatever reason, Carson plays better when it's this type of group that's out there on the field, and he doesn't feel like he has to force the ball to anyone. He can spread it around. I mean, you go and you look at the box score, he had 11 different receivers that he targeted in this past game. That's something that you can continue to build on.
All right, in your expert opinion, my friend, give me the top 3 things that this Eagles team needs to do to turn things around for the better. I mean, based on the first 7 games we've seen, from your eagle eye, no pun intended, what are your top 3 things?
Yeah. I think, first of all, you got to get protection. We got to be able to protect the quarterback better. I mean, right now, we're leading the league in sacks. I'm sure we're leading the league in quarterback hits, so this is something that we really need to focus on, making sure that we can protect Carson at all costs. Whatever it is that we need to do, we need to keep Carson off the ground. We got to figure out whatever is affecting Jake Elliott right now. Let's see what's going on with Jake Elliott, just so that there's going to come a time in the games that we're going to need him to make a big field goal. And if what he's dealing with is mental, then we need to figure out what that situation is so that we can kind of, fix that and massage that so that we can get the old Jake Elliott back, all right? And then I think on the defensive side of the ball, we just need to be able to continue we can't give up the run. We can't give up the run, and we just need to be able to continue to put pressure on the quarterback.
All right, before we continue our discussion, we're going to step aside and take a pause for the cause because the season is in full swing and the action is still unfolding. So head over to the DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. With so many storylines across both the professional and collegiate sports, this is the time to check out all the DraftKings Sportsbooks that has to offer. Now, if you haven't tried the app yet, head to the App Store right now because you don't want to miss this. To celebrate the showdown in Happy Valley, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to turn $1 into $100 when placing a bet on either Ohio State or Penn State. Additionally, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to receive a sign-up bonus of up to $1,000. On top of those great sign-up offers, DraftKings offers great odds boost every Sunday to help you make it rain. Now, DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code ITB when you sign up to get these can't-miss offers. Pick either Penn State or Ohio State, bet $1 on them, and cash $100 if you win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use the promo code ITB during sign-up for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, Mr. Thomas, we are back to talking some football, and as we pick it up once again, this is a juncture of a season, whether good, bad, or indifferent, we have a grasp of what a team's identity is. So, in your estimation, what is this Eagles' identity? Because I don't have a clue right now.
I'm right there with you. I have no idea what our identity is. I mean, it's not a ground and pound team. It's not a team that's going to go out there and just run all over you like some of these other offenses that have a big running game, like Tennessee Titans, that's going to go out there and just run all over you. We're not, we don't have the big, flashy, fast receivers out there. So we're not going to be like the old school Rams who were the greatest show on turf. So, so on the offensive side of the ball, I don't know, it's not a ground and pound. It's not the greatest show on turf. We just an offense. All right. So that's pretty much that. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we're not the old school Steelers steel curtain, or a team that could, or the Gang Green, Reggie White that's getting after the quarterbacks. It's not the same type of, I don't know what we are, who knows? I mean, it seems to me like they're trying to still find themselves. But what I do know is that we have two characters. We have the Green Goblin and the White Snake. That's what we have right there. That's, that's all I can give you, as far as identity. We got the Green Goblin and the White Snake.
That's more like cartoon superheroes, isn't it?
Well, that's what we have right now. That's what we have. We have the snake.
And the white snake.
The snake. The
okay,
white snake.
The snake. The white snake.
The white snake.
Hey, you brought up Jake Elliott, and I want to talk about him a little bit more because this season, for Jake Elliott, it has not been just a job. It's been an adventure. Now, overall, 8 of 12 in the field goal department. Not bad, not great. Now, the interesting thing is from between 30 and 39 yards, he's 5 for 5. 20 to 29 yards, he's 1 for 2. Now, 50-plus yards, where sometimes those are your most crucial kicks, he's been 1 for 4. Now, we've seen him make those consistently in the past, but why the inconsistency now?
I don't know, man. To me, it seems like kickers, man, it's such a mental thing. And, kickers, it pisses you off when they miss them just because, that's all you do.
Here we go.
That's all you do. You come out there, you play your little kicker games, you play the little flip the ball, let's see who can get the ball closest to the line, flip it, and then you turn the goalpost sideways and you kick the ball and you hit the goalpost and you show up for work a little bit, and then you go inside and you drink some Gatorade and you play video games while everybody else out there busting their behind. Usually kickers are probably going to be your best golfers on the team just because they can play golf all throughout the season while everybody else hands are all beat up and sore. They can go out there and go play around the golf. Most kickers are scratch golfers, just because, nothing but time. Flexibility is good and everything. So that's why it kind of pisses you off a little bit when they miss him, because it's like it's all you do, man. That's what you do.
But yet when they miss a kick, the whole team comes up and embraces them and pats them on the back. It's okay, little buddy. You'll get it next time.
No, it hasn't been that way for Jake Elliott lately. Whenever he misses one, everybody kind of just walks away like, man, you know what? That's all you do, man. That's all you do. Now, you make one, they go over there, hey, man, good job. You miss one, man, dog, that's all you do, man. They walk off. You sitting up here, you spend all that time doing all those little trick golf shots, but then when it comes time to put the ball between the uprights, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, where you at?
Man, look, and all the time I've covered football, man, that's the one thing that's always fascinated me is about you guys, especially in the Andy Reid tenure, when you guys get double practices, you guys knocking the heck out of each other. You see the kickers and the punters standing over there.
Yeah.
They're under the goalpost, and I'm like, all of a sudden they go in halfway through practice, and where are they going?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I know you guys get hot.
Yeah. You know what? Well, back then you couldn't even think about it because Big Red was just on our throat, man. Just Big Red wasn't trying to hit. His training camp was rough, man. But and the kickers, they go in there like, man, that looked tough out there, man. Let's go ahead and take it on inside, because I feel like I'm starting to perspire a little bit, and I want to make sure I just go on inside before it get a little too high. I want to keep my levels up, I want to stay hydrated, so they just take it on in, man. But, I think that kicking is just such a mental game. And there's something going on with Jake Elliott. I don't know what it is. I think that, he's still a confident kicker. I think he's still a solid kicker. We just need to figure out what that block is so that you can get it together. Because I don't think bringing in another kicker is going to help the situation.
Right,
all that's going to do is continue to pile on with whatever he has going on.
All right, let's see. Let's say you were a football psychologist and you were called in to sit down with Jake Elliott and pick his brain. What are some of the things you would say to Jake?
Man, that's all you do. That's all you do, man. You kick off, and then you put it between the uprights. That's it. You ain't got to worry about no blitz. You don't have to worry about reading safeties. You don't have to worry about taking on the D tackle. You kick off, and you put it through the uprights.
That's it.
I ain't got nothing else. I would be the wrong one. I'm like, look, I need you to have a touchback every time.
Yeah.
And put it between the uprights. That's all. That's it.
So you're not going to give him any comfort, any condolences whatsoever. You're just going to say, look here, man, get your butt out here and do what you have to do.
You kick off and you put it between the uprights. That's it. Now, you might get, 4 or 5 kickoffs a game, maybe 6.
Yeah.
So you get 5 or 6. So you get 2. Well, you're going to get at least 1. You get at least 1, at the half or whatever. And then, you score a couple times, you get 4 or 5 kickoffs. The punter might get a little bit more work, but, field goal, extra point, you get 3 or 4 of those a game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, when everybody else out there banging 60, 70 plays, you kick off and you put it between the uprights. Now, whatever you need to do, if we need to get you a little puppy, if we need to do whatever, if we got to get you some acupuncture, if we need to take you to a Himalayan salt cave, whatever we need to do.
Salt cave?
Yeah, Himalayan salt cave, man. It's like the new rave, man. You kind of breathe salty air and everything. You sit in the dark room. It's kind of cool. And
have you done it?
Yeah. They put you in a little lounge chair. They put you in a little, and they turn off the lights and everything, and they pump in this salty air and everything. It's a kind of cool experience, man.
That explains a lot right there.
Hey, man, listen, I'm refined, man. You never know where you might see me, man. I do things now, man. I broaden my horizons.
Okay, all right. Now, back to the old line for just a moment. Opeda and Herbig. Give me your breakdown of those two. And if Jason Peters is coming back and you got to play him at one of the guard spots, where you putting him?
To me, let's talk about the guards first of all. When you're talking about Nate and you're talking about Opeta, I thought when I went back over the film, I thought Opeta game was okay. You know, now there were a couple times where everybody goes back to the one where he got that massive bull rush and he got put in Carson's lap, like, you know, like when you take your child to go take pictures with Santa Claus on Christmas. You know, you go to the mall and you get them all dressed up and you're like, hey, you know, I'm going to put you on Santa Claus lap and we're going to say cheese on 3. That's what the defensive tackle did to Opeta. He picked him up and put him in Carson's lap and sacked both of them. You know, like, I mean, he put him in his lap. That's what he did. I mean, he put him in his lap. Like, all right, tell Santa what you want for Christmas. Cheese on 3. You know, I mean, it was about like that. And then I also, when you go back and you look at the film, for whatever reason, Opeta was all around Lane Johnson's injured body parts, okay? You go back to the 3rd and 1 quarterback sneak, and I'm going to have a clip of this, where he's blocking his defensive tackle. Right. Lane Johnson goes down to the ground. Opeta is blocking his defensive tackle and lands his defensive tackle on top of Lane's left ankle, the ankle that is bothering him right now. So you see Lane roll over on the ground right after that play. You can see it right here where Opeta is blocking his guy and drives him right into Lane's ankle, all right? So that's injury number 1, okay? Then now we're going to fast forward to injury number 2, where it's the MCL sprain, all right? So this is going to be the fade route that we called down there in the end zone. You can see Opeta right here that's blocking his defensive tackle. And what he does, he's trying to finish his play and running the defensive tackle to the ground. Too bad Lane Johnson's right MCL is right here. And Opeta took his guy into Lane Johnson's knee, which took Lane Johnson out of the game for the second time. So Opeta was responsible for both of Lane Johnson's coming out of the games on Thursday. He single-handedly took Lane Johnson down. But now, you know, he was out there battling. He was trying to finish. A lot of offensive line injuries are from friendly fire. That's why I try to tell everybody, put on knee braces, brace yourself up, because stuff like that happens all the time. He was trying to finish, but it was just his block on his guy was responsible for the 2 times that Lane Johnson had to come out of the game.
Well, hopefully nobody else gets injured, because this has been a season of injuries on top of injuries and then some. We're going to move on and talk about the Dallas Cowboys matchup in just a moment. But first, you have a little promo to share with us.
Yeah, man, this is coming from Manscaped, who's number 1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Halloween is right around the corner. What's that?
I said, here we go.
Here we go, man. Halloween is right around the corner, and you don't want to spook someone with your scary bush. Our friends at Manscaped want to help make your boys downstairs clean. Manscaped is number 1 in men's below-the-waist grooming and offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. You might be Chewbacca, Bigfoot, or a hairy bear, but it's what's under the costume that really matters. Don't be that hairy guy. Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. Inside of the Perfect Package, you'll find their new and improved electric trimmer, the Lawnmower 3.0. This waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to your pumpkins. You can also create less mess by trimming in the shower or using their Magic Mat disposable shaving mats. And we can't forget about the Crop Preserver, which is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? The Perfect Package 3.0 also includes anti-chafing performance boxer briefs that keeps your undercarriage cool and smelling fresh. For on-the-go freshness, you'll love the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. It's time to get clean and mean with this Perfect Package 3.0. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use promo code TRAY, T-R-A, at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off plus free shipping when you use promo code TRAY, T-R-A, at manscaped.com. Stay sexy this Halloween. Your balls will thank you.
Oh, man, you read that with passion and conviction. Did you write that?
All right, well, I changed a couple words here and there to make it my own, but yeah, there you go, man. Manscaped.
All right, let's get back to some football before this gets out of control. Before we move ahead to the Dallas Cowboys, I just thought of one other thing about the pass game against the Giants. Daniel Jones, great athlete. You knew he had good speed. We're not talking about Kyler Murray's speed. We're not talking about Lamar Jackson's speed. Not even Patrick Mahomes' speed. Man, he broke through that line of scrimmage on an 80-yard jaunt until the turf monster tripped him up. And it was shocking, Trey, that now one Eagles DB could close the gap. As a matter of fact, that gap kept getting wider and wider as they ran down the field, man. That was a little disheartening.
Yes, it was a little disheartening to see Daniel Jones just go ahead and just say, you know what, I'm going to just go ahead and just break on out here and just show y'all what I'm working with. You know, you say your guys are fast, but I'm faster. And you know, they said they clocked this man. They clocked this man at 21 miles per hour. Said he was only a couple milliseconds slower than Tyreek Hill. Yeah, I'm not buying it. The only way I would buy it is if they clocked him right when he was falling to the ground. If they timed that right there. Because, I mean, you know, all right, you know, 21 miles per hour? and I mean, no one on our defense could even get up to 18 miles per hour. So, you know. No. Yeah, I mean, and then I'm wondering, you know, during all of this, where was the white snake? Because the white snake, Nate Gary, he is one of the state champions from the Dakotas. He's like one of the fastest guys out of the Dakotas, if that's such a thing, if that's like really a thing. I don't know if that really counts.
Could be a myth.
Could be a myth. Well, I don't know. Where was the white snake in all of this? Because Daniel Jones just kept pulling. He just kept pulling. There was no white snake. There was no Slade. There was nobody that could get out there and catch this man. You know, it's good that we had, you know, that our field
the turf monster.
Yeah, they painted some elevated lines down there on that side of the field. You know, so they you know, they raised the lines down there for him, and he tripped over him. I mean, that was just ridiculous because we had absolutely no one that had a chance in slowing him down or stopping him, and he just stopped himself. Even though they ended up scoring on that drive, but still, I mean, you know, that's kind of harsh when you see a quarterback break out like that and no one on your defense could even try to get him.
Have you seen Nate Gary close on anybody? I mean, seriously, have you?
Now, come on, man, the white snake had a sack. He had a sack.
Have you? I'm talking about catching the people. Have you seen him close on anybody?
He had a sack.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, that's what I thought. Okay,
the white snake had a sack. He came off the edge, gave you a move, bam, tackled him, and then he came with his little celebration. It was like a little snake. He was a snake. He turned into a snake.
You man. Something is wrong with you, man. Something is desperately wrong with you. All right, let's move on to the snake.
He turned into the white snake, man. I mean, you know, he jumped up and he was like, snake. There's the white snake.
Let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys. This was always a big week for Eagles fans, players alike, man. But it's almost anticlimactic, man. I mean, it's like the Dallas Cowboys are a mess, man. As I said off the top of this show, they're a mess, man. And it's like almost feel sorry for them. Almost is the operative word. Almost.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for, you know what I'm saying? But, man, this team is free falling, and there's no safety net in sight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, right now it just seems like there are just so many issues there. I mean, their injury list is just as long as ours, if not longer. And, you know, you got a lot of issues going on over there. You have a new coaching staff. You have the players that are complaining about the coaching staff. Then you have a coach that says, hey, man, he's complaining about the players. And then, you know, it's just all kinds of wild stuff going on over there. I love when Dallas has a lot of turmoil. Awesome. Right. Let's keep that going. I just found out that their quarterback has a LinkedIn page. That's a first, you know what I'm saying? So I think that just based off that right there, we should get a win because I've never seen a quarterback have a LinkedIn page. I don't know, like, what do you put? Yeah, like, what do you put? You know, like, you know, what are your hobbies? Like, you know, I like to throw deep balls. You know, contact me. I can control a huddle. You know, I know a 2-minute drill. You know, like what do you put on your LinkedIn profile as a quarterback, as an NFL quarterback? what do you put in your bio? as an NFL quarterback on your LinkedIn page.
You're in rare form today, man.
I'm just
I gotta
wondering.
give
I
you
mean, I
props.
was just trying to figure out, like, what do you do?
Now look, Jim Schwartz basically said they don't have a lot of film on this possible starter for the Cowboys, Ben Denucci. I'm still trying to get used to that. It doesn't even sound like a quarterback name, Ben Denucci. Now,
Man has a LinkedIn page.
I know. Now they had to go back to his college career at James Madison to get a feel for him. But as you know, with any player making a transition from the college to the pros, they alter your mechanics and some of your techniques. And this man was running for his life last week against the Washington football team. So how does a defensive staff really prepare? I mean, do you call a lot of people? Hey, what do you know? What do you know? If you have limited NFL footage to look at.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always hated as a player is when you had to play someone that there was no film on. I hated that.
Right.
But with him being a young quarterback, you just want to confuse him as much as possible. Show one thing one way, bring the blitz the other. Just kind of, you want to make sure that he's uncomfortable all the time. Make sure that there's always a helmet, somebody touching him even if he gets the ball out, just someone give him a little shoulder just to let him know, I'm almost there, especially when you have an offensive line that's extremely depleted as far as injuries as well. So now, make sure that you get after him, make him uncomfortable, because you do not want him to sit back there and like, all right, pick you apart. So now our defensive front needs to go out there and eat. We need to eat. And now I think Schwartz also, he needs to dial up some blitzes and make this young man uncomfortable.
Well, the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones are down there sending messages now. They traded Everson Griffin to the Detroit Lions. They just cut Dontari Poe. They tried to get a trade partner, and Jerry Jones came out and said, hey, man, this man was 8 pounds overweight. Wasn't holding up his end of the deal. They cut Darryl Worley as well. The Cowboys.
Wait.
Yeah.
He was only 8 pounds overweight?
They said he wasn't doing it. Said he wasn't doing his job, though. Say it wasn't holding up in 8 pounds. I read it again. Didn't say 18. Said 8 pounds. Not 18. 8 pounds, brother.
Yeah.
Overweight.
Yeah, I would have took that, man. Big Red used to fine us $100 per pound back in his day.
I know he did. He did.
He fined me over about $30,000 my first year with Big Red.
$30,000.
Yeah, because it was $100 per pound until you got your weight down.
I wish I had known that then. You could have helped donate it to the future D.Gunn retirement fund. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, he got me too. And then, like, the players didn't help, man. They had me out there getting those cheesesteak sandwiches on Fridays, man, after weigh-in. No, we wasn't going to make weight. Big Red, like, all right, cool. Hey, $100 per pound, though, big fella. All right.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. So now, this brings us to the moment of truth. Cowboys defense. Giving up 408 yards a game, 178 yards rushing a game. They've scored 13 points. Last 2 games, the Washington football team held them to 3 points. As we look ahead to this Sunday night encounter, give me your prediction.
I hope we win.
You hope? You're not confident?
I think we win.
Okay.
I have a strong feeling that we could win.
Okay.
It seems like everything is kind of in our favor to win.
Right.
We had a good past couple games, last weekend, so hopefully we show up to play and win, because just like for us, it's Dallas. I mean, it's Eagles week for them. So they know the importance of this rivalry. So, hopefully we go out there and show up. We're about to try our 7th offensive line out there again. So
yeah.
Hopefully we win. I really want to say, but I think we can win. I think we get this. I think we'll pull this off. I want to feel confident about it, but I mean, we just did get out of New York. Just did get by New York by 1 point. So hopefully we can pull this off, but I think that this should be a game that we go out there and take care of business.
Do you have a score prediction, sir?
No, I never do a score. I just kind of just say, hey, we're going to win, because how many times have we scored over the 20-something?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because I'm just looking at our just, you know, we've only scored what our highest point total is 25.
Mm.
You know, 28
No, no,
because we
no. They've
scored.
scored
We put
29.
29
29.
against the Steelers. Okay, so we
Numbers giving
haven't
you
gotten.
problem today, huh?
Yeah, we haven't gotten in the 30s yet. Yeah.
Well, this is
Okay,
the
maybe.
game they can get in the 30s in.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah. So
game.
we get in the 30s.
This
We
is
get
the
in the
game.
30s this game. We get in the
You know,
30s this game.
yeah,
Now,
I mean, we
hopefully
don't know.
we can keep
Yeah, go ahead.
Dallas in the teens.
Yeah, yeah. This is we don't know if Andy Dalton's going to be a clear concussion protocol. This guy named Ben Denucci is kind of like something right out of the movie Any Given Sunday. Although this guy ain't been, he's not Willie Beeman. Okay,
No.
he's not Willie Beeman coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty confident about this game. But you're right. There's always that sliver, that small negative sliver that sits there. I mean, when I go back, I think they had problems with Dwayne Haskins coming out of the gate. They had problems with the rookie named Joe Burrow, led to a tie. They had problems with Daniel Jones, great athlete, not a great quarterback, but great. So you're right. You know, Ben DiNucci, I hope we're not talking about this name all week long next week.
Yeah,
So,
you do not want to lose this game going into the bye week. Because then that's going to be interesting. Like, how are teams even going to handle the bye week now? You can't send your players off.
Right.
Because they still have to get tested.
Yep.
So, like, how is all of this going to play out? This is just it's just wild. Just 2020, man.
I know, man. You know, I hope we never see anything like this again.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That's going to wrap up another fun-filled and informative edition of Grilling the Birds, brought to you by Inside the Birds. For that crazy man right there, and I emphasize the word crazy, Trey Thomas, I'm D.Gunn. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll talk to you again, hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, hopefully, after a big win over the Dallas Cowboys. So long, everybody.
All right, man.